Elite Drill Chad here. Episode 70 released quite recently, so it is time for me to analyze it in detail. I'm not lying when I say that Iso Toilet will be dethroned after this, as I don't even think his level of detail is up to mine, because I know multiple things that other analysts don't. Who is Ghost Cameraman, and how did the female Alliance members literally spoil the future Titan upgrades? Let's just dive into it. Episode 70 begins with two cameramen barely outside the bunker, and we see a basic white toilet passing through the inside of the bunker. The cameraman on the right pulls the pin out on his grenade and throws it underneath the bunker door. These are the same toilet paper grenades that we saw in the last episode. The grenade explodes, we turn over to the flamethrower cameraman, and we also see blood on the ground. This was here before the explosion, so this is not from the toilet that exploded. This scene is straight from the leak, where we see a cameraman with a TF2 flamethrower burning two toilets and another already burnt one on the ground. We see the inscription, "No smoking," just like I predicted it would be. And we notice the blue color of the flame, like Titan Camera's core flame, and it was most likely made by the cameraman. We can also see stairs at the start, and what can they lead to? We turn around and see a decapitated cameraman and multiple other corpses. We also see tanks that are probably full of acid. An interesting detail is how the lamp is emitting a yellow light. We all know how yellow represents the Skibidi toilets, so that means that there might be an energy tank somewhere deep underground that runs things like the lamp and the entire Skibidi base using the yellow Skibidi energy. Here we see an overturned Skibidi bathtub and two scared cameramen. Never mind, change that to 3. There is one important character here, but let me discuss where we are first. We see massive canyons and desert everywhere. We know that this is where the Titans went to, as we see later on, but look at that character. That is clearly Brown Simp Cameraman. He has it all. He is damaged. He has new legs, because they are a different color, and the camera zooms in on him. So there is clearly some importance here. He is holding a revolver, and he fights bravely. That rejection really did make him cold-hearted, and that means he fights fearlessly. He fires a couple times and immediately gets blown up by a rocket. Dang it! I wanted him to develop as a character in the future episodes and become a special agent like Plunger Man. Let's just hope that the medics can repair him. Then we see the toilet that did it. He has armor and 6 rocket launchers on his sides with a gray armored toilet. He has only fired his top right missiles, so he just came out for battle. There must be a hidden entrance where they all are coming from, and the Titans should just find it and open fire into it. We can also see a dead human corpse of what looks like a medic. What is that doing here? I have no idea, but we also see the secret agent in a car. We can't quite see if this car is the same color, but that is the secret agent or another dead human that was hiding. Maybe the Astro Toilet that we see later on learnt English from this guy, and formed a bond with him because they were both against the Alliance and the toilets. Maybe he got killed by the DJ Skibidi, so the Astro Toilet rips him apart. Anyways, let's not spoil too much yet. We can also see a shiny toilet on the ground. I don't know why it looks like that, but I don't know what else it could be. Maybe it was sewn sort of a statue for Skibidi toilets. The armored rocket toilet fires one of its missiles at the scaredy cameraman, and the POV cameraman pulls out his huge laser cannon. From this, we can tell that the POV cameraman is the large cameraman that we saw from the end of the last episode. We already knew that he would appear, but the leak that we saw of him holding the cannon was really at the wrong angle and probably from Camerawoman's POV, as we see later on. He fires it, and the blast is amazing. A vibrant mix of red sparks and fiery explosions anywhere it hits. This laser really does pack a punch. We can see that it hits the rockets and causes them to explode, and that is why we see multiple explosions. During this critical moment, the rocket toilet fires a missile as his last resort, but misses, so he fires another one and still misses. We see another missile fly at the POV and miss. His aim sucks, but he is decently smart to jump in and attack while the POV could only see fire, but the rocket toilet had a higher POV and could easily locate the red cannon because of its bright glow. Anyways, He gets gunned down, and these blades must be very durable to withstand all of that and still be spinning on the ground afterwards. Also, the toilet is smoking, but there are no flames. This is because lasers run on heat and light, so just like the cannon, when it overheated later in the episode, it started smoking. He flies up and fires at another rocket toilet identical to the other one. We also see a destroyed car. That isn't the secret agent's car. You know that hidden entrance that I was talking about earlier, where all the rocket toilets keep coming from? Well, I think I found it. To the right of this frame. I find it stupid how the agents didn't just raid this entrance. If they could blow the rockets up on the rocket toilets, then that would cause a massive explosion. If some were in hiding from the POV, then they probably came out afterwards and killed the flamethrower cameraman. Rest in peace, legends. We fly over and see a dam in the distance with white lights, so it has a different energy source, but I'll discuss that in a moment. Let me show you signs, the map, and what is behind the cliffs. This is the map, and I can't make out this sign. I can see that this sign says Black Mesa Hydroelectric Power Facility. This explains what the white lights and everything else on that side of the dam is powered of. Notice these two mountains here. Do they look familiar? They should, because they are these two hills from the previous frame. So this is what awaits us on the other side of the bunker door. It has a sign that says Secure Access, and I can't make out the other one. Oh my gosh! Is that a missile to kill some agents? Maybe they will send it to explode the bunker squad. On our way to the dam, we kill some rocket toilets, one with less missiles than the previous ones, but bigger in general, and we see another broken car. This car is nothing special, unlike the last ones. The toilet fires a rocket, but it lands underneath the POV, so the POV lands on a rooftop, and we see the same lamp from the start, and also the sign that I showed earlier. A rocket toilet fire, rockets at the POV, but this one is firing at some sort of a barrier, and I don't know why. Perhaps he was bursting the wall so he could escape from the POV, but that obviously won't work, and they both get destroyed. Here we can see the rocket launchers from the toilets, and yet another damaged car. As we look over at the dam, we can see some sort of reinforcements attached to the roof that the POV is on, and 5 Skibidi soldiers making their way across the dam. I'll get to them later, but we turn and get hit by a helicopter Skibidi with extra rockets while we were trying to shoot it. We succeeded in killing it, and the POV didn't die, thankfully. We hide behind a hill and see another rocket heli toilet. This is not the one that we saw before, as this one still has all of his rockets left. We kill it and immediately get hit, but our GigaChad POV carries on anyway and kills another rocket toilet. We fly behind a hill and kill yet another rocket toilet. By the way, here you can see some sort of a power grid on top of the cliff. Moving on, we can see the roof we were on before and a rocket flying in front of the POV. The camera starts glitching, and we walk around the back of a cliff until we find the toilet that did this. He looks like a chunk of metal, so we fly up to him and literally fire until our cannon overheats and the toilet unfolds out of shield mode. He has 4 rockets like we saw in the leak and 2 laser cannons that we couldn't quite make out. In this frame, we can see the hills that I showed earlier from an even better angle. If we look out into the distance, we can see 2 sort of windows for the base and some sort of a satellite, which might be these very same satellites from episode 67. The toilet starts to charge his lasers, but all of a sudden, he turns to see his fate flying up at him, and we finally get to see Titan Cameraman's new shoulder cannons in action. In my analysis of episode 69 with Elite Gentlemen, I pointed out that since the large cameraman's blaster and Titan cameraman's blasters look identical, but with different colors, they'd have the same blast. But I was wrong. It turns out that the POV's blaster more resembles overcharged Titan Speakerman's core laser, which we get to see later in this episode. By the way, when Titan Cameraman crashes, we can see how the POV camera starts glitching, and something explodes on the toilet, which is probably one of his rockets. We've never seen it glitch this much before, apart from in episode 65 after the explosion. Look at this right here. Is that just a glitch, or truly a tear in reality? By the way, You can see this part of the bunker here with another light on it. This light will go out soon, along with the rest of the white lights, since Titan Cameraman destroyed their power source, aka the dam. The toilets turns around and it open fires into him, but he gets burnt to a crisp. The only thing that survived was the helmet, the toilet, and the glasses. The other toilet decides to finally help his brother, but he also gets eliminated by a single shot from the shoulder blasters. First of all, can you see the odd shape of this toilet here? You can the resemblance between this and the Sheeny toilet earlier, which I thought was a statue, but I was wrong. It turns out that this one came out of the entrance earlier, instead of across the dam. We turn soon after and see a toilet that is exactly the same, except he is a stupid wannabe G-toilet, so he gets a warm welcoming to the depths of hell by Titan TV Man's blade, and bro really does think that he is the king of the mountain, but we see the real king of this episode later on. Here is Titan Speaker Man, and he throws a dead toilet identical to ones on the dam over the cliff and into the valley. I'm gonna name these toilets the Transformer toilets because of the way that they transform out of shield mode. Titan Speaker Man looks oddly disappointed while he puts out the fire on his shoulder for some reason. We turn over to see Titan TV Man landing on the ground, and bro really did skip leg day because his arms are twice as thick as his legs for some reason. We also get to see his knee protectors in this frame, which I haven't noticed before. He gives some of his core energy to Titan Speakerman, and now we know why he didn't do that before. He was saving the show for later, as we can tell from the phrase that he says after this part. While he is giving his core energy, we can hear Titan TV Man say be quick, and Titan Speakerman does do it very quick. He starts literally shaking with red energy, and it looks like he could explode any second now. Also, did you notice how the smoke suddenly became more intense? Titan Speaker Man looks over at 3 acid bomber plane toilets, 2 masked rocket toilets, and 3 SWAT toilets with additional acid blasters that Titan Cameraman ends up using as his new hand. His cannons start rapidly spinning, and this scene made him my new second favorite Titan. This is really something else, as he shoots 18 times in about 1 second, I counted. After that, he flies over to the toilets to kill them all, and his jetpack is now running off his core energy. We can tell because of its red color. We can also see lasers probably boosting his jetpack seemingly coming out of his feet, and this is weird, but a unique idea. Here we see how powerful these acid plane toilets truly are, as one shot to them causes a massive explosion. He keeps flying and firing, and then Titan Cameraman uses an acid cannon as his new arm. As an acid SWAT is trying to land a shit on Titan Speaker, and fires it back onto the toilet as the toilet shakes his head rapidly, and here's my theory. Once the toilets captured his original arm, they figured out the exact size to make the robotic arm so it could attach to Titan Cameraman and become his hand. They used this trick against him in episode 67, and I think this is no exception. They will use this hand against him in the future. We see UTSM donating plasma to toilet, he spins around insanely fast and lasers everyone, and then sits down on a cliff, and this scene reminded me of when he sat on the original mass toilet, and just then he killed some upgraded small mass toilet. By the way, the toilets he killed with his core beam were the same kamikazes that were in the base in episode 68. This scene also gave me flashbacks of 58, but this is a better show, and Titan TV Man agrees as he say 10 out of 10 after. This face is too familiar, and not for a good reason. We see the return of DJ Toilet. He has 4 lasers, speakers, a machine gun, and new legs. He doesn't last long, as he gets ripped apart by Astro Toilet. I don't think he died because we can see how the Astro ripped apart his upgrades, but left him intact. TCM uses his shoulder blast on him, but it gets deflected. Titan TV Man uses his core blast on him, but he dodges, so he prepares his sword and says, "Who the EF do you think you are?" in reverse, and the Astro Toilet says, "You all will die," and this ability amazed me. I never knew that toilets could speak, but if any of them could, it would be the Astros. Also, it's insane how he deflected energy. I'll talk more about him later. Okay, let's break it down in depth. There's heaps to talk about, but first let's discuss what it might mean for the future of the Astros. Notice the massive nose and pointy chin of the Scorpion Astro here. Now compare this to the size of the upgraded Astro's nose. The new Astro has an average-sized nose and none of the facial features of the Astro Scorpion toilet. Also, I could be wrong, but the Astro Scorpion seems bigger than the new Astro, and I feel like he's hiding something. He might have a hidden TV or a paralyzing gun. That's how they've trapped the Titans in the past, and a paralyzing gun is the ultimate trap card for the Titans. I'm surprised that the agents haven't pulled a stunt like that before. It seems like the toilets are supposed to make traps, and the agents just have to survive them or fall for them. I'm getting off track. The point is that the eerie message he left us is more than it seems, and they probably have the most unpredictable trap waiting for us, so like and subscribe to my channel. We know that the Astro toilets are smarter than Skibidi toilet, so if they invent a cure for the paralyzing rifle, then they could simply stun the Titans, infect them, and unstun them if their paralyzing gun was big enough for Titans. Then they would have an army of their own, and the Skibidi toilets and the Alliance combined wouldn't stand a fraction of a chance against them. I don't actually think this would happen, as the Astro toilet said they would die and not get infected. Secondly, if this is the same toilet from episode 60, and if I'm wrong, then that means the UFO toilet is getting an upgrade. Spiderun's version had a cooler-looking helmet and an extra blaster, but that isn't good enough against 3 Titans. He needs something more high caliber and possibly have 3 blasters, as the new Astro had 3 arms. Also, it is possible that scientists killed the original Scorpion toilet, as scientists surely has the ability to do that stuff. All we know is that UFO toilet won't return with a new upgrade soon, as we saw him 2 episodes ago with no new upgrades. Enough yapping, let's carry on with the real episode. Titan TV Man tries to use his sword teleport, but Astro Toilet catches his sword, tears it off his arm, and literally gets the Return to Sender achievement, and the sword pierces Titan TV Man's arm. He removes the sword from his arm, and this scene is actually from the leaks we got. By the way, the description of the episode refers to this event as it states that something unexpected happened. Many people pointed out how the screen appears to have a green glow, but it looks normal to me. You can see how little core power Titan TV Man has from charging up the other Titans as well. We turn and see Titan Speakerman still chilling, and maybe he didn't kill the Astro Toilet because he was tired or something. We see the woman trio with new upgrades, and this means more than you probably think it does. I'll explain this at the very end of the video, so stick around for that. If you look closely, you can notice how some of the details suddenly disappear from Titan Speakerman's blasters. This is probably just a rendering error, but we can see a camera that looks like the head of a camera toilet monitoring the outside of the base. There is a stop sign and another sign that I can't make out. There is also a green sign that appears to have a hand on it or something, and maybe it was just the Alpha Labs logo. As we point over to the other side of the base, the woman trio seem to be somewhat distracted by the gun, and let's hope Elite Cameraman doesn't see TV Woman making this face. We fly over to the base and see Titan Cameraman just chilling on our way. Also, we can see the unique patterns and scratches on Out POV's arm, so we can tell who he is in the new episode, so he will be very important in the future. If you look, you can tell how Titan Cameraman has ran out of energy from his blasters. We pass the stupid toilet that got fried like a chicken by Titan Cameraman and are about to fire at another rocket toilet with 4 rockets. Apparently that wasn't our POV, and our real POV, which is Plunger Cameraman, was really just bored on the elevator and watching the fight on his tablet. Unfortunately, I can't quite make out the number that is on the tablet, but the fact that he is our POV in this episode hints that the other cameramen might die in the bunker in part 2 or 3, and we saw this exact same thing happen in part 2. Rest in peace, bro. The cameramen all seem to be looking at us as if we are their boss, which makes sense because Plunger Man has been pretty cocky lately. All of a sudden, the lights turn off in the bunker because Titan Cameraman smashed through the dam earlier. The cameramen turn on their torches, which might hint to Torchman helping the bunker, and we can see the turquoise twins from before in ghost form. Here are 3 possibilities of what this is. Number 1 is that this is a real ghost. Number 2 is that Plunger Man is said they had to sacrifice the twins, so he is imagining them. If this is true, then I feel kinda sorry for Plunger Man. Even though they couldn't do anything about it, it is sad AF. Number 3 is that the toilets had cameramen prints on the elevator walls with X's over them, but they have worn off since. My bet is on the second option, but we hear a banging on the roof and the video ends. We actually know who this is because of the new part 2, but at the time I thought it would be a similar toilet to the Bruce Lee spider toilet from episode 63, and I wasn't too far off from the truth. Now let me discuss the Woman Trio upgrades, because they mean more than you can imagine. The basic Woman Trio have some of the abilities as their upgraded Titans do. Example, Camera Woman has a blue glowing camera and a cannon behind her back. If you look at Titan Cameraman, you will notice he also has 2 similar shoulder cannons and a blue glow from his camera. This goes for the rest of the Woman Trio as well, including Speaker Woman with her sound wave and knives that can be shot form her red glowing speaker. Upgraded Titan Speakerman has the same abilities and more. TV Woman is more obvious, as she has a purple and orange beam and her head can detach. Upgraded Titan TV Man has the same abilities and a lot more. The female upgrades were 2 cannons and a jetpack. Titan Cameraman has a jetpack already, but for his 3 points of form, improved arm blasters would be great. Maybe his energy shield can be attached to those cannons. Speaker Woman has a jetpack, and katanas, which is great considering that I always knew that dual katanas would be the perfect melee weapon for Titan Speakerman. TV Woman only has a jetpack, and from the rest of the upgrades, we can tell that jetpacks don't actually have any meaning, and they are just necessary for the trio. Unless she has a hidden upgrade, then that means Titan TV Man won't get upgraded. And let's hope it is because he kills all toilet easily, but that would be boring for the series. I must say I'm excited. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and goodbye.